The single biggest lie we are sold today is that you need to go into debt to look like you are wealthy. Stop buying things you do not need to impress people you do not even like. Look, a new financial year is the perfect time to wipe the slate clean. It is like hitting the reset button on all the terrible money mistakes you made over the last 12 months. And believe me, we all make them. So, today I am pulling back the curtain and sharing my exact, non-negotiable personal finance rules for this year. These are the strict guidelines I use to protect my wealth, grow my net worth, and stop leaking cash on useless things. Let us start with rule number 1, and this is a big one. I will take on absolutely zero new consumer debt this year. None, zero. If I cannot buy it with cash, I do not buy it. It is that simple. Now, I have a mortgage on my home, and that is running its course. But beyond that, I am completely done with financing my lifestyle. There is this massive trap out there right now with buy now, pay later schemes. You see them on every single checkout page. Do you want to split this $50 t-shirt into 4 easy payments? No, absolutely not. If you have to finance a t-shirt, or a television, or a vacation, you cannot afford it, period. The moment you start borrowing money for depreciating consumer goods, you are robbing your future self to pay for a momentary dopamine hit today. Let me tell you about a highly relatable and slightly embarrassing mistake I made a few years ago. I fell into the trap of financing a high-end, commercial-grade espresso machine for my kitchen. I convinced myself, the classic lie, that it would save me money because I would stop going to expensive coffee shops. So, I put this $2,000 machine on a payment plan. What actually happened? Well, I had to buy premium coffee beans, then I needed the special syrups, then I needed the fancy milk frother. And the worst part, I was usually too lazy to clean the machine before work. So I still ended up buying coffee at the drive-thru. So there I was, paying a monthly installment plus interest on a machine that was just gathering dust on my counter, while still buying coffee outside. It was a complete disaster. That is the reality of consumer debt. It traps you. So, no new loans, no EMIs. If I want a new gadget or a new piece of furniture, I save up the cash. Which brings me to rule number 2, and this might sound like it contradicts the first rule, but stick with me here. I will use credit cards for almost 100% of my daily expenses. Now wait, I know what you are thinking. You just said no debt. Why are you using credit cards? Here is the secret. A credit card is only a debt trap if you do not pay it off, if you use it correctly. It is the greatest financial tool in the world. Most people are terrified of credit cards because the interest rates are insane. We are talking 20%, sometimes up to 30% annually, because it is an unsecured loan. The banks charge you a premium if you carry a balance. But, and this is a massive but, if you pay your statement balance in full every single month, you pay exactly 0.0% in interest. Think about the math here. When you buy groceries on the first of the month using a credit card, you do not actually have to pay that money back until your billing cycle ends and the grace period is over. That is usually 30 to 45 days later. For an entire month, the bank is lending you free money. Your actual cash can sit in a high-yield savings account, earning you interest, while you use the bank's money to live. Plus, you get reward points, cash back, and purchase protection. If you buy something with a debit card and your number gets stolen, your actual bank account gets drained if your credit card gets compromised. It is the bank's money on the line, not yours. They will fight to get it back. But you must be disciplined. Treat your credit card exactly like a debit card. If you do not have the cash in the bank to back it up, do not swipe the card. Rule number 3, and this is a controversial one that saves me thousands of dollars a year. I refuse to own a car. Yes, you heard that right. I do not own a vehicle. Last year, I finally sold my aging car, and I have never looked back. Society tells us that owning a car is a symbol of success. But mathematically, a car is one of the worst investments you will ever make. It is a depreciating asset that loses 10 to 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. And it does not stop there. You have to pay for insurance. Whether you drive it or not, you have to pay for maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations. You have to pay for parking. You have to pay for registration. Instead, I rely 100% on ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft and occasional rentals. When you do the math, taking an Uber every time I need to go somewhere is actually significantly cheaper than the total cost of car ownership. I do not pay for gas. I do not pay for insurance. I do not worry about finding a parking spot. I do not worry about the engine breaking down. When I need a car for a weekend road trip, I just rent one. Now, I know this does not work for everyone. If you live in a rural area with zero public transit, you need a car. But if you live in a moderately dense city or suburb, calculate your true cost of ownership. You might be shocked at how much wealth your car is eating up while it just sits in your driveway for 23 hours a day. All right, before we get to the next rule, I want to hear from you. Take a second and drop a comment below. What is the dumbest, most ridiculous financial mistake you have ever made? Or what is the worst impulse purchase you are willing to admit to? Let us share our pain in the comments below. I promise I will read them all. Okay, rule number 4. I am taking tax planning seriously, and I am doing it early. Most people wait until the absolute last minute, like 2 weeks before taxes are due, to start scrambling for receipts and looking for deductions. That is a terrible strategy. When your income starts coming from different sources, maybe you have a side hustle, some freelance work, some investment dividends, taxes become incredibly complicated. This year, my resolution is to plan my taxes in advance. I sit down with a tax professional at the beginning of the year, not the end. We project my income, and we figure out exactly what moves I need to make to minimize my tax burden legally. Taxes are likely your biggest single expense in life. If you spend 40 hours a week working for your money, you should spend at least 4 hours a year figuring out how to keep it away from the government. Rule number 5. I am aggressively paying down my mortgage. Now, there is a huge debate in the personal finance world about this. The mathematically optimal strategy usually says, if your mortgage interest rate is very low, like 3 or 4%, you should not pay it off early. Instead, you should take your extra cash and invest it in the stock market, where you might average a 7 to 10% return. Mathematically, that makes perfect sense. You earn the spread. But personal finance is not just about math. It is about psychology. And the psychological weight of having a massive loan hanging over your head is heavy. My goal is to completely wipe out my home loan in the next 4 years, having a fully paid off house, owning the roof over my head free and clear, gives a level of freedom and security that a spreadsheet just cannot calculate. If the economy crashes, if my business struggles, I do not have to worry about the bank taking my home. That peace of mind is worth a slightly lower return on investment. Rule number 6. I am ruthlessly cutting my budget on material things and expanding my budget for experiences. I have made a hard rule this year. I am not buying any new gadgets unless the old one completely dies. No upgrading my phone just because the new one has a slightly better camera. I am also not buying any new clothes unless something is ruined and needs to be replaced. We buy so much junk just for the temporary thrill of unboxing it, but that feeling fades in a week. Your closet fills up with clothes you never wear, and your drawers fill up with electronics you barely use. Instead, every extra dollar I have is going toward life experiences. I am talking about travel. I am talking about going to interesting events. I am talking about taking people out to dinner to build strong networks. If you look back at your life 10 years from now, you are not going to remember the shoes you bought. You are going to remember the trips you took, the conversations you had, and the memories you built. Experiences appreciate in personal value over time. Material things just end up in a landfill. Rule number 7 is my favorite. I have an absolutely unlimited budget for education. This applies to me and anyone on my team. If there is a book that might teach me something new, I buy it instantly. I do not even look at the price. If there is an online course that can teach me a new skill, improve my business, or make me a better investor, I purchase it. The greatest return on investment you will ever get is investing in your own brain. Warren Buffett always says that the best investment you can make is in yourself. If you spend $500 on a course that teaches you a skill, and that skill helps you negotiate a $10,000 raise or launch a successful side business, that is a 2,000% return. You cannot get that in the stock market. Never feel guilty about spending money on books, courses, or coaching. Stay a student forever. The moment you stop learning is the moment your income stops growing. Rule number 8, give back, but do it quietly. I have made a commitment to donate a percentage of my income every single month. But my rule is, it must be completely anonymous. In today's world, a lot of people use philanthropy as a marketing tool. They record themselves giving money away for social media clout. Look, helping people is always good, but I personally believe that true generosity happens when you expect absolutely nothing in return, not even a thank you, and definitely not a round of applause. Giving anonymously keeps your ego in check. It reminds you that wealth is a tool to help others, not just a way to boost your own image. Specifically, this year, my goal is to fully fund the education of a few dedicated students. There are so many incredibly smart, hardworking young people out there who just happen to be born into a situation where they cannot afford tuition. If I have been blessed enough to secure my own future, the least I can do is help open the door for someone else. And finally, rule number 9, track every single penny. I do not care how much money you make. If you do not know where it is going, you will eventually lose it. I maintain a highly detailed, obsessive financial tracking system. Every single month, I sit down and review exactly what came in and exactly what went out. I track my grocery spending, my utility bills, my investments, my net worth. This gives me absolute control over my money. When you avoid looking at your bank statements, you operate out of fear. When you track your money, you operate from a position of power. You can instantly see if you are spending too much on takeout food. You can see your investment accounts growing, which motivates you to save even more. Financial tracking is not about restricting yourself. It is about awareness. It is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So, those are my non-negotiable personal finance resolutions for 2026. 0 consumer debt, strategic credit card use, skipping car ownership, early tax planning, aggressive mortgage payoff, experiences over things, infinite learning, anonymous giving, and obsessive tracking. If you implement even half of these rules this year, I guarantee your financial life will look completely different 12 months from now. Take control of your money before your money takes control of you. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button right now. It helps the channel grow, and it ensures you will not miss out on any future financial strategies. I will see you in the next one.